The universe is composed of a lot of other different things the human eye can't see, from the things around us in our surroundings such as the sun and the lights, to the things we do every day such as use our laptops and talk on the phone, all use light waves. The electromagnetic spectrum is omnipresent in the universe. The spectrum is arranged in increasing energy and frequency and decreasing wavelengths from left to right. There are the radio waves, microwaves, infrared waves, visible light, ultraviolet rays, X-rays, and gamma rays. The spectrum is composed of both visible and invisible waves. However, these waves can bring about both mild and serious health issues. An example of a person who is exposed to EM waves often are athletes who play outdoor sports. This is Kyle Ueda, a baseball player.
Yeah, I'm aware of the risk of my profession. I get injured by the ball, and I spend a lot of time out in the sun. The sunlight can hit my skin, and I get sunburned, even skin cancer.
The sun can be both beneficial and harmful to one's skin. Okay, so as to its benefits, we can get vitamin D from the sun, and vitamin D is very important for the bones. But if we are exposed to the UV rays of the sun, that can cause skin cancer, especially UVA and UVB. Now, the UVB is the one responsible for the sunburn, which is also not good, because if we are repeatedly exposed under UVA and UVB, we can get skin cancer. That's why it is also important that we put on sunblock 24/7 if possible, because we can also get that the skin cancer can be simulated by being exposed to fluorescent lamps, which can also emit UV rays.
While the EM waves can bring about health issues, they are also used to cure some diseases, which is often seen in hospitals.
Benefits usually in the application of diagnostic modalities like X-ray, what we have here in nuclear medicine, and we also use radiation in treating the patients.
Some of those frequently exposed are the radiologists and the oncologists.
We are at risk. That's why we have a lot of ways and means to avoid or minimize exposure to radiation. So as you can see, we have this instrument here. This is also called your OSL, which is the optically stimulated luminescence. So every 3 months, they get this from us and they measure the level of radiation. So if you have a lot of radiation exposure and the total within this instrument is high, they tell us to stop working first. Okay.
Are we exposed? Yes, we are exposed. You are exposed whenever you have your X-ray, but in a very minimal level. Like for us doctors, what we use is we have this decking system. For example, ikaw muna, itong patient na to after 30 minutes and the patient needs another help, the radiation oncologist comes in. So we work as a team. So it's not all the time me, and there are times that another person will pitch.
So what are the measures to avoid this exposure? Number one, there should be protection. Okay, so when you say protection, when you're exposed to X-ray, you should have lead gown. So the lead gowns are of different thickness, so it could be 12, 35, 55 millimeter lead coat within the coat. And then also there are different mechanisms wherein it is inherent within the machine that the spread of the radiation will be minimal.
As the DOH always checks on the hospitals, particularly the radiology, to check if there are leaks. For example, we're in the radiology room. I don't know if you noticed that there's no signal in the radiology room because there are we call it lead walls. You don't notice it, but it's within the cement, there's lead. That's one of the precautions in the hospital. So DOH is very particular about that. We have a physicist who checks on the amount of radiation almost every day.
Usually we encounter health-related problems if you don't observe the proper safety precautions. Mostly the harmful effects, we can see that in doses that exceed the acceptable limits. And one, you can see also cancer, development of cancer. Others more recognizable like cataracts, development of cataracts. Some will have changes in their sometimes mood. It can affect your mood. Sometimes it can, for example, what do you call this? You can see physical manifestation like burns. So those are for doses that exceed the acceptable limits. I have to tell you there are two effects that we see in radiation. One is the stochastic, what they call the stochastic effect, and the other one is the deterministic effect. How would you differentiate between the two? The deterministic effect will come in when you have there's a direct correlation if you are repeatedly exposed to higher doses of radiation, then the effects will come. So that is what you call the deterministic effect. The stochastic effect is the one that we should be careful. We should be more careful the stochastic effect because it is irregardless of the drug. So some people develop cancer just even just small exposure, even just a small dose of exposure.
From well-documented studies showing adverse effects on health, along with the results of the interviews, we must take precaution with regard to exposure to EM radiation. The exposure that we have to the different stressors in our modern-day environment that have degenerating effects are highly increasing. By living a healthy lifestyle, we can ensure our well-being.